Hi friends, Erin here. How have you been? It's been a bit. We're going to do a little bit of a walk around the garden today because it is looking much different than it has been. So there's finally something a little different to show you. We'll talk a little bit about what I've been up to. Just a brief little bit about why you haven't seen me as much on YouTube. What's coming down the pike. And I don't know, that's kind of just a catch up. We're going to start in the basement though, because we're going to talk a little bit about what is happening under lights down there. So my seed starting area is still a big mess. I just haven't had time to clean stuff and properly get things organized down here, but it was time to start a few things. So I have a scary amount of things actually started. Now you saw me start purple bellvine seeds. We did a video about that. That's in the middle. Since then, I have started also Lobelia Starship Rose, Impatient Solarscape Extra Large Pink. I've never grown Impatiens from seeds before, so that's a big experiment. I've never grown Lobelia from seed before. Also an experiment. A very cool shredded umbrella plant that someone passed some seeds to me on. That will take a very long time to do anything. Delphinium Cheer Blue, which really with delphiniums, this is Delphinium chinensis, which is not the tall one, but this is always my favorite variety. I love this one. But with this, it can take a while for them to germinate. So it doesn't take them long to grow, but the germination can take a while. So I kind of hedge my bets on that and start that early because it does like cooler temperatures. It will frizzle out in the heat, at least in my experience. So I want to make sure I'm able to get that out early. So that's what's happening here. And I have been broadcast sowing everything so far. It is so easy, so quick, takes up so little room that I really find it to be a good fit for me. But remember, every one of these, every one of these pots has far too many seeds in it, and every one of these seeds will need to get transplanted into a cell form of some kind or a paper pot or whatever I'm going to use for it. And there's way too many seeds. But here's what started here. This was yesterday, so that would have been February 15th that I sowed these things. 4 kinds of snapdragons. I have done a video on starting snapdragons before. I will link it so you can learn everything you need to know about that. 3 kinds of Madame Butterfly Bronze plus All America Selection winner, which one is that? That is Double Shot Yellow Red Heart. Very pretty looking in the pictures. All America Selections also sent me some coleus seeds for coral candy. I have never grown coleus from seed before, so that's an experiment. They also sent me these 2 verbenas. So this is Sweetheart Kisses, which it is a like a superbena type verbena, that kind of verbena. And then the other one back there is Vanity. And what's nice is with the Vanity, those seeds were primed, meaning they didn't need any further cold stratification for me, and they were pelleted, which was really nice. I don't know. These didn't say primed, and I didn't do anything to prime them. So I just planted them. So we'll see what happens with those. So that's what's growing for seeds. Obviously, there's nary a sprout yet. So most of these things I just started a couple of days ago, except for that purple bellvine. And then down here on the bottom, this is pretty ugly down here, you guys. So ignore things. But I did show you last time that I had some ranunculus started. First time growing ranunculus, which is why I haven't done any videos about it, because I like to be able to make the mistakes so that I don't tell you and then you make the mistakes. There's great videos on YouTube about how to grow ranunculus. Don't ask me yet because I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. So I pre-sprouted all these corms. Now I've planted them up in cell packs and they are down here. This all is probably a little too early, to be perfectly honest. So, you know, I can't say what's going to happen here. But anyway, we've got some actual leaves forming here, so we will keep growing those out. The geranium cuttings, I didn't realize that my lights were on 24/7. They were plugged into the wrong side of my timer. So the geranium cuttings are cooked, but they'll come back, I think. They'll be fine. It's my assumption. Okay, we are outside. Boots are on. Let's take a look around because it is looking different. Okay, so finally we have snow. Now, do I like the snow? No. Is it so, am I happy we have it for the sake of the garden? Heck, yes. We have been so dry. It's unbelievable. So over the last, well, it started Friday, and then we got more snow overnight, more lake effect overnight. So you can see, I don't know what we have. It's probably best to judge it off what's on top of the boxwoods. It's probably six to 8 inches total, I would say. Some of it melted a little bit during the middle of the day yesterday. The garden looks quite a bit different than it really has all year. We had a little bit of snow in December, and that was it. And then that melted. So good to see that. I was getting very worried. In fact, last weekend, I went around the garden and I watered some of the newer plantings with a watering can. I didn't know if the water would soak in, and it did. I think that top layer maybe wasn't fully frozen last weekend, so I watered. Like for instance, I went over to here and got the hemlock because those hemlocks like it moist. And I love this tree and I want it to be happy here. Now that was planted 2 years ago, but still being established. And then I watered the little Chamaecyparis here, the soft serve Chamaecyparis as well. They got a little bit of water. And then I went around and tried to hit most of like the new hydrangeas that I had planted in fall. And then this came, which is great. There won't be a lot of moisture in this snow, but it's covering the soil, so at least more water isn't transpiring from the soil. And there will be some moisture in it when it melts, so that is good. So one of the things, let's just see what we've been up to here. We'll kind of take it as we go here. Well, we might as well start with this thing, which is that I don't know if I've complained about this too vocally on the channel, but the thing that I have hated the most in this garden from the day we bought this house are these lights. We have 3 along the driveway here. I think these are ugly as sin. This one, not that you can really tell here, in particular, is standing out in the middle of the lawn. Actually, all of them were in the middle of the lawn in the beginning. And then I created gardens over here. So they were no longer, they were in a garden. They at least make more sense when they're amongst plantings, but this guy is just out in the middle of everything, standing there. So I have long looked for something to replace this. Well, I finally think I have figured out a solution to this. We'll talk more about it, but I will just tell you guys that it involves, if you look at my footprints here, I kind of walked it out yesterday, just extending this bed around here. So this area, this triangle right here, is all grass. So I would fill that area in with plantings. It's actually not that big of an area to do, which is kind of nice. And then all of this would be garden all the way along there. Right now, if you recall, this bed kind of bends around this corner like this. So it's just sort of a triangle, which would bring in this light and what will replace it, which is the best part of this. And I have to figure out what's going to get planted here. I know for a fact I will be repeating some of what's over here, because in my mind, that is how you make a garden flow really well, is across paths, across whatever, you use the same plants so that there's continuity and it doesn't look like 2 separate parts of the garden, if you're able to do that. So anyway, that is I'm going to be going to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show this week. That is on the plane. I will be designing this. I do a very good job. Some of the best gardens I've designed have been primarily designed on planes. I don't know how that works, but I must be in a place to have no interruptions, so that's how that works. Okay, so I don't worry about snow on top of the boxwoods because these boxwoods are very established, so they're strong. So, I mean, unless we had like feet. I don't really worry about it. I figure it protects them a little bit and I leave it there because I'm not worried about these like splaying open or anything. Now I've been in a little bit of a pruning. I've kind of gotten mad about pruning. Like I just have been so enjoying it. So I did a little bit of pruning on this blue globe spruce. You probably can't tell, and that's great. That's what I was hoping. Did a little bit of pruning on that one. We'll do some more work on that. Sort of working with the candle when it candles and stuff. We'll do a little bit more pruning. I've already talked to you about how I pruned this willow over here.
way too early for me to be doing pruning of hydrangeas and things like that. And I was really, I still have not pruned, let's get back here so you can see these. I still have not pruned the hornbeam hedge, which I'm bumping up against a deadline here because hornbeams you really want to prune before they come out of dormancy so they don't bleed a lot of sap. And we're getting there here. So I still need to do all these. But I was waiting because I bought myself a proper orchard ladder. It was an investment, and it's way cheaper than a trip to the hospital or breaking a leg. So you guys have seen me up on those tippy ladders before trying to prune those, and it's not pretty. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? So I'm like, clearly I'm going to be pruning a lot for the rest of my life. So why not buy the damn ladder? So I bought the ladder, and then it snowed. And it's not to say that I couldn't do this in the snow, but I mean, if it was a warm day, I'd do it in the snow. But snow plus cold, no thank you. So one of the trees I really, this is a tree, I guess, I really went after was this ginkgo over here. This is ginkgo, I believe this is goldspire. And some of you know the story of this ginkgo, which is got a horrible shape to it. So here's the story with this ginkgo. It was a lovely little tree. And then when we had a tree removed in this garden, they accidentally dropped it on this. So it lost its leader. It was broken in half. So I just let it keep growing. And what has happened here is that you can see, now this is a ginkgo that is meant to have branches all the way up, basically. So what you can see is the trunk has now gone this way. And then the leader, so I had it staked for many years, but I could only stake it so high. So now the leader is, oopsies, focus-wise there, sorry. So now the leader is leading off to the left. But now you can see this branch right here has sort of trying to establish itself as a leader as well, going out the other direction. And so now I have this situation in which it's like a shrub at the top and a tree at the bottom. And so I haven't dealt with the top yet. I was waiting for the ladder, and I haven't quite figured out what to do. I think the thing I have to do for the long-term health of this tree, well, there's two things. My initial reaction is that I think I have to significantly whack back this thing that is trying to become a secondary leader, and get that out of there, or at least shorten that up. However, as I was pruning this tree, I noticed that as we veer off this direction, there is quite a bit of damage to parts of, like if you look in there, do you see all that kind of mottled wood on there? There are parts of that that don't look great. So if I cut off that leader and then I lose this part, that could be the end of this tree, which, you know, listen, this tree's been an experiment since the day it got massacred. So anyway, we'll deal with that as we think about it. But I have pruned the bottom quite significantly. There was a ton of crossing branches in here, and it was really a mess. So I really cleaned out things in here, trying to just be better about, and I see more that I could do actually, trying to be better about shaping these trees appropriately to prevent problems down the line. So I also took back some of the branches a little bit, just to sort of tighten it up a little bit width-wise. So that's the ginkgo. Ginkgos, I think, take pruning quite well. So that's that experiment. And then I have not touched, this is the tricolor beech. And I've been kind of looking at that, and there's some stuff I think I need to do at the top. Like I can see, I don't know that you'll be able to see it, but at the top there's a little thing that's trying to kind of fighting with the leader a little bit that I think I should hack back. And the more I look at this, the more I think like some of these little branches coming off the trunk here should come out. And this is established enough now that I feel comfortable doing that. I don't really like to do a lot of pruning on a tree right away. So this was planted in 2020. I feel like it's established enough to be able to clean some of that out. So once I get the ladder out, we will do that. I have still not cleaned up my vegetable garden, which is clearly not going to happen anytime soon now. Oh, these are the flowerful hydrangeas over here. This is something I put a lot of water on these guys because those were planted in, what was that? September, October last year. And I have not cleaned out the winter arrangement here, but I have turned the lights off on it. I mean, these things are all frozen in, so there's no, even if I wanted to clean out those winter arrangements, there's nothing to be done about it. These guys are looking great. This is the Golden Curls Willow that I grew in these 2 pots on the driveway, moved them over here. They have great buds on them. They're really budded up, really nice, so they definitely are fine so far. This one was always smaller than the other one, so there's a bit of a size discrepancy. It's a willow. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I've really enjoyed having these. I think they're really nice. I'm glad we moved them to this. Let me back up so you can kind of see the whole picture here. I'm glad we moved them to this spot because I think it's really pretty and it's out of the way for snow removal. I keep talking about Ascot Rainbow. This is Euphorbia Ascot Rainbow, which is borderline hardy here, but has come back for me 2 years. I will be surprised if it comes back. I bet it's toast this year. It got down to -15 here, just briefly for one night. But so we are zone 5B, 6A. The bottom of zone 6 is -10. So when you get to -15, now you're getting into 5B territory. And there was no snow cover. So you know, anything that's zone pushing, and I don't have a lot of that here, you know, could be in trouble because of that. So we'll see. So that's, oh, here, I wanted to talk about what's happening in the woods, which is not optimal. So I think if you see in the distance here, you see this tree that's leaning over. So that is the original tree. The tree farthest to the left is our neighbor's tree, but it's right on the edge. That broke. It's an ash, and so this is what ashes do, because they're all infected with emerald ash borer here. So you can see that that broke. This is they often do this. Can you see it broke probably 8 feet up or so, maybe even less, 7 feet up. That's what a lot of them do. Oh, there's a big, I don't know what that is. That's a hawk over there. Anyway, there was a snowy owl up in a farm field near us, I don't know, about a month ago. Anyway, it broke there. And then it fell into, if you look up at the top here, it fell into this birch tree. So you can see at the top, they're all intertwined. Fell into that birch tree. The birch tree is ours. The birch tree started getting uprooted. And now they're both, I mean, it's just a mess up there. So they're all jammed up. There's a dead tree right here. They're all jammed up in that tree. There's another chunk of a dead birch. There are birches here, do not live long. So it's just a real mess. So obviously, well, 2 things. One, this is not a DIY removal situation, because trees that break like that, those are like widow makers. It's really dangerous to take down trees like that. Plus, I wouldn't even know how you would go about doing that. Now, I am not fastidious about taking down trees out here. As you can see, we have a lot of trees that lay on the ground. There's another one, you can kind of see it right there, that fell over. In this part of the woods, which is primarily covered, you cannot see this in summer at all because of the ferns that grow in here. I think it's fine to leave these, and dead trees are great for wildlife. So I think it's fine to leave these. Now, we did sort of look at this, and we did ascertain that if this falls, it will not, my neighbor on that road, this is the next road beyond us here, has a little raised bed vegetable garden over there. We have ascertained that those trees will not hit that and will not damage anything over there. So should the whole kit and caboodle come down here, it's not going to fall on property and damage anything that we have figured anyway. So I guess, and our neighbor said he was going to get someone to come deal with the tree, and that hasn't happened. They're not here. I'm not overly worried about it. No one's over here. This is way closer to their house. That's their garage there than it is to ours. I'm not worried about it as far as that goes. But well, I'm not worried about that as long as no one really is there. So that's my only concern. Anyway, it's not exactly beautiful, but it is what it is, and it's not in danger of hitting anyone or anything right now. So there's so many spring to do projects here. Look at how bad the LJ has gotten on these stairs. And we have tried power washing that, and that does not come off with a power washer. So it has to be painted over. And, part of this is, I have regrets about certain things, decisions that we made when we did a renovation in 2010 and 2011. And one of them is, well, we never even got asked the question, but they used rough cedar boards for the facings here. I hate rough cedar. I don't know why they did that. I wish they hadn't. I wish we hadn't used cedar at all. I wish we had used, some sort of timber tech type product or something like that. So look how terrible. It just looks so bad. So in addition to, we need to paint the pergolas again. The pergola on the garage is a real mess. So lots of painting projects. I honestly would really love to, I'd love to just replace those. I'd actually like to put a different deck on too. The deck is okay, but I tell you what, it stains something fierce, and I wish that weren't happening, but oh well. So lots of things that need to happen in spring, which just makes me a little nervous, in addition to all the other things that have to happen in spring. Okay, so you might have noticed there haven't been a ton of videos up on YouTube, and let me just briefly tell you the main reason behind that. And that's basically that I've had a big change in my job in the past, since the end of December. And it's just learning a new job. So I've been working a lot, and I am pretty tired by the end of the day, and I have not really had the opportunity to, when the weekend rolled, first of all, that in winter, it's very hard to film outside because there's no light at night. So it's hard for me to film outside. I kind of hate filming inside. I have a terrible setup for that. And there's so much color grading and trying to fix the color, which is kind of doesn't work that well anyway. That goes into fixing those videos. So it's tough for me to do those videos. And the other thing is that by the time the weekend rolls around, first of all, I'm working a lot of the weekends. But in addition to that, it's just, I'm exhausted. My brain needs a break. So I haven't been making a ton of videos. That's going to change because things are easing up a little bit. I'm getting my feet under me a little bit. I don't really want to talk about it a lot, to be honest. So I know you guys are going to have questions, and I appreciate that. I just don't feel like talking about it. But I am getting a much better feel for what I'm supposed to be doing and what's happening. And so things should ease up soon. I actually have a video that I filmed 2 weeks ago. And it's almost done being edited, and I guess I'm going to put it up. I've been a little hesitant, honestly, to put it up because some people are really going to hate it. And, every YouTuber will tell you this. 99.9% of the comments are wonderful and nice and friendly, and people are so supportive. And then there is this 0.1% that are really, really wretched, terrible comments. I'm actually trying to move because the dogs are inside going absolutely nuts in the window, and I want to finish this video before I let them out. So I try not to let these comments get to me, and they do. Sometimes I think everyone's human. I have a ton of words on an automatic block. So if you ever post a comment and you don't see it get up, it's because you may have used one of the words that I have found that I have to block, because there are certain words that are often pop up in truly toxic comments. And one of the ways I've chosen to deal with that is to not allow those comments to come through at all. So sometimes there are words that are caught up in that are being used in a very innocent manner that never see the light of day because I've got an auto commenting block on those words. But I think you guys will find the video that I'm working on to be interesting. So I'm going to put it up, hope for the best, and close my eyes if people get really angry about it. So that should be coming soon. And then, like I said, I'm heading off to Seattle, and I'm sure interesting stuff will come out of that as well. So I hope you guys are having a great week in your garden. I wanted to say hello, tell you I'm still here, more good stuff to come, and really seed starting is just starting now. Those are just the very earliest things that I've going now. So more of that will be coming soon, and great garden stuff to come. All right, have a great day in your garden. I will see you soon. Bye.